Okay, so this is an introductory lesson on using Substance. I hope this helps you out. So first things first, you will need an object or a 3D object that is UV'd. So this is a simple geometric object that has been added with UV information. So this is also exported as, so file, export selection. So this has also been exported as an OBJ object. After you have exported that as an OBJ 3D object, you can now go to your Substance and go to File, New. Let us just choose this ASM PBR default metallic roughness, and then I will set this to a 2K resolution so that the materials that are going to be created going to be 2K. I will uncheck the auto unwrap because I already have done the UV unwrapping. Now I will select and go to my folder, for example, where my texture OBJ is there. Here is an OBJ with no UV. So if I am to open that, nothing happens. So it really needs a UV. I go to File, New once more. So same settings, 2048. If you check the auto unwrap, go to select, and then let's once more use the no UV. Open and OK. So this time, Substance will create a UV for that object. See? Let me show it here. So this is an auto unwrap UV from Substance, which is difficult to understand. So it is better off create objects and then add UV information or unwrap them in your 3D softwares. Open 2K resolution, uncheck the auto unwrap, PBR metallic. Okay, I'll just discard this and here. So now I have my UV set and also I have my object set. Simple navigations here in Substance. So Alt and then left click drag, that's your view rotate, and then Alt right click drag, that is your track zoom, and then Alt middle mouse and then drag, that is your middle mouse drag, that is your view pan. So that is for viewing. Alt right click and drag, track zoom, Alt left click and drag, view rotate, Alt middle mouse pan, track middle mouse pan, middle mouse drag is panning. Shift, if you press shift right click and drag, this is your environment rotate, so that you can see how the lighting moves and interacts with your material. Next, let us go to our texture settings, mesh maps, and then let us bake our mesh maps. I will just uncheck the thickness, go for the height. All of these are fine. I will just go to common settings, set my output size to 2048. The maps that are going to be created will be later on accessed by our layer effects. That is why we're doing this. I'll go to my bake selected textures. So it is making maps out of those. Next, I'll just return to painting mode, and here are the maps that have been baked. Next, I'll go back to my layers. In the layers, I will delete this, and let us say I will create a layer group. In this layer group, I will name this, let's say, yellow material. Next, I will just create a new fill layer. So when I click this, new fill layer will be created. The fill layer, I'll just name this yellow, and then I will go down here in my properties. For now, I will just disable the rest by clicking them. I will disable the height, rough and metal normals by clicking them, and so that I can only see the color settings. Color settings, I will click here, and then I will just choose a color. Let's say I like to have this yellow. Once I'm done, I'll press OK. So here it is. It's now a yellow. Then I will hold shift, right click and drag. So that is how the yellow is interacting. Next thing, I will adjust my environment. I'll go here in my display settings. I'll choose environment opacity. I will make it 100 so that I can see it just by dragging here from left to right. So you can see there is an environment image map source. So as you do shift right click and drag, it is rotating. Next, I will bring down the environment blur to 0 so that I can see it sharply. And then I will just turn the environment opacity to 0. Next, I'll go down here. In my shader settings, I would like my sample set to very high 64, so that the material sample that we will be creating or we will be seeing here is of high quality or almost near our 3D software's package. Turning it off. Next is I will go to the roughness. The roughness will control how smooth or rough your texture will be. So here in the roughness, for example, the black means it will not be rough, it will be smooth. So when I drag it towards the black, it means 0 roughness. And since it is 0 roughness, that's why it has become so smooth. It is reflecting the environment. That is the reason why I sharpen the environment by setting the blur to 0. So that's your roughness. Next, if I will set the roughness to white, so that is going to be very rough, or it will give a matte appearance. So this, the surface of the object became very rough, therefore the light is not much reflecting. It is being absorbed. That is your roughness settings. White means very rough or it is rough, and then black means very smooth, reflective and very smooth. So you can also put in or set it to a balance amount, 0.5 to fine, or a little more on the reflection. Another way of doing this, you can click this and then you can choose a texture. In the texture settings, let us say we can type in a map such as grunge So these are those noise maps that has been created procedurally, and then they have certain features, in this case grunge, so they are a bit distorted. For example, if I will choose this, remember the settings. Black, the black means it is smooth, and then the white areas or bright areas will mean they are matte. So now I'll just click it, and now it is applied. So as you can see, some areas are very smooth, some areas are very rough. So you are controlling it by material now, or procedural material. If I will shift click and drag, as you can see, it is reacting accordingly. I can go here, adjust the balance, increase it, or I can adjust also the contrast to sharpen it. But in this case, I would like to see it in material view. I'll go here, and then since it is in the roughness, I'll go to the roughness, so I can see it as this, as a texture. As I see it as a texture, again, I will remember black is shiny or reflective or smooth. White is not. It is rough. It is matte. So what I'll do is I can increase the balance if I would like to have it a bit more if I would like it to be more of matte finish. If I'm done with that, I can go here, go back to material, and there it is. Next, I will now go here, shift right click and drag, so that's fine with me. Next, I will add some more variation. I can go to the metal, and in the metal I will do the same. If it is in 0, it is not metallic. If it is in white, it is 100% metallic. So metalness gives that saturation in color, and also at the same time it adds further reflections. It gives that metallic effect. Let's say I don't want, or I do not like that effect of metalness. If I would like to, I will click, and this time let's have a different grunge added to it. Let's say I would like to have grunge dirt. Let's say this grunge concrete dirt. This is for the metalness to be controlled, and then I will try adding balance and then contrast to sharpen it, but it's not appearing okay. I can drag here a little so that it lessens the effect of the metalness. If I am happy with that, okay, I will just shift click and drag. It seems so. I'm okay with this, and then here I can add an effect. Let's say I would like to add a filter, and then I would just click it, and after adding a filter, it is just like another sublayer, but this time we will try to make it or have it more texture. So I will click here in the filter. Let's say I will choose a metallic, or at least an iron effect, or a galvanized effect. Here, a matte finish. See, having that done, it gives further that effect, mixing both roughness and metalness of the object. And then from here, I can adjust the scale to make it a bit more detailed depending on the model, and then the intensity, I can lessen it or increase it. I'm okay with that. So now I have this. So now this is going to be the material for my object. Next is I will create a rust for my object here. So I'll see you on that lesson.